Faster than a bullet and hotter than the surface of the sun, lightning is an unstoppable force that deals some serious damage. All over the world, electrical storms strike the Earth's surface 100 times at any given second. Yet amazingly, 9 out of 10 people survive being hit by Thor's bolts of fury. Here are 10 people who were struck by lightning. Not many people know this, but you can create your own lightning strike by using the static on the screen. Just put your finger right over the subscribe button. Closer. Closer. You might have to press the button to make it work, to be honest. Adam Campbell. Mountain trail runners are tough people, and possibly a little crazy. None more so than Canadian Adam Campbell, who in 2014 was competing in Hard Rock 100, considered to be one of the hardest trails. A storm hit the runners shortly after sunset, and as Adam and his teammate reached the summit, the air exploded with a flash of light and a loud crack, and they found themselves sprawled on the ground. Remarkably, neither of the two were seriously harmed, and even more remarkably, Adam picked himself up and finished third in the race. Perhaps that lightning gave him more than just a fright. Kimberley Gordon. On the 4th of July 2013, Ian Gordon and his pregnant girlfriend Kendra Villanueva were caught in a storm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, making the classic mistake of sheltering under a tree. The couple was hit by a bolt of lightning that passed from Ian to Kendra. After being rushed to the hospital, doctors performed an emergency C-section on Kendra. The baby Kimberley survived, despite being born 2 weeks early. Sadly, she suffered some neurological damage, but the most noticeable characteristic of this lightning baby is her static hair that stands on end permanently. Mr. Gordon has appropriately given his daughter the nickname Flash. Tony Sakura. Lightning can have an incredibly destructive effect on the human body, and around 24,000 people are killed by electrical storms each year. But some, such as Tony Sakura from New York, may have actually gained power from Zeus's mighty bolts. Sakura was hit after leaving a phone booth and was resuscitated by a nurse who had been waiting nearby. After a few weeks, he recovered from the ordeal, but was overcome with an insatiable desire to play the piano, something he'd previously showed no interest in. Sakura has since composed a number of works and performed in theaters showcasing his bizarre gift from the heavens. Unnamed British teenager, Suffolk, UK. 13 is unlucky for some, Friday the 13th even more so. This certainly proved to be the case for an unnamed boy who was watching an air show on that exact day in August 2010. The boy was struck in the shoulder and was immediately taken care of by paramedics. It was while they were treating him that they noticed the time, 13 minutes past 1 o'clock, or 13:13. The boy was taken to the hospital and recovered quickly despite the ominous coincidences. The boy's age was, of course, 13. Winston Kemp. Keen to save his precious pumpkins, 24-year-old Winston Kemp ran out into a storm one afternoon. Lightning struck his neighbor's backyard, sending electricity into Kemp's arm. Noticing nothing more than a sore arm, he came back inside like nothing was wrong. Around an hour later, a red scar developed on the arm in the shape of a fractal branch-like structure, known to physicists as Lichtenberg figure. These painfully beautiful patterns have appeared on a number of lightning survivors and are the result of ruptured blood capillaries in the path of the current. Steve Marshburn. Most people struck by lightning tend to be outside for the attack, but Steve Marshburn Sr. was even unluckier. In 1969, he was working inside a bank at a teller's window. Lightning struck the teller's intercom, sending a surge of current down Marshburn's back. The lightning caused serious damage to his spine and brain, exiting his hand via a metal stamp he'd been holding. The lack of research and support for those who suffered strikes led to Marshburn setting up a Lightning Strike and Electric Shock Survivors International, a group which now has 1,800 members globally. Getting a membership is easy. Just stand on a mountain, in a storm, swinging a golf club. Harold Deal. Another member of the survivors group, Deal was also struck in 1969. While walking to his front door, he was blasted out of his boots and onto the ground. It took 7 hours for his sight and senses to return to him, but he was left unable to walk. After surgery, Deal eventually got back on his feet, but the lightning strike had left him with a curious ability. He was impervious to feeling the cold. Deal carries photos of himself running shirtless through the snow at negative 44 degrees and sitting in ice baths. Doctors are unable to explain the phenomenon, although Deal is no doubt happy to be saving money on his heating bill. Roy Sullivan. A park ranger from Virginia, Roy Sullivan holds the Guinness World Record for having received the most recorded lightning strikes, with a total of 7. Between 1942 and 1977, Sullivan was hit on several parts of his body, frequently setting his hair on fire. His experiences earned him the nickname the Human Lightning Rod, and sadly for Roy, led to people avoiding his company when the skies went gray. Sullivan ended up shooting himself over an unrequited love, the only thing better at breaking a man's heart than an electrical current. Melvin Roberts. While Roy Sullivan may hold the official record with 7 strikes, another East Coast man has supposedly topped it. Melvin Roberts from South Carolina claims to have been struck 11 times in 12 years while mowing his lawn, driving a bulldozer, or just standing outside his house. He has extensive medical records of burn marks, exit wounds, and brain damage to back up his story. He even has a box of broken watches showing the exact time of the strikes. Unfortunately, the Guinness Book of Records says there isn't quite enough evidence of the strikes for them to give him the record. Seeing his memory loss is another of Mr. Roberts' symptoms, perhaps they're right to be skeptical. Jim Caviezel. Mel Gibson's 2004 movie The Passion of the Christ stirred up controversy worldwide, even before its release. This was not helped when Jim Caviezel, the actor playing Jesus Christ, was hit by a bolt of lightning during filming. Caviezel, a devout Catholic, said fire flashed from both sides of his head during the Sermon on the Mountain scene. Director Mel Gibson quickly called in the stylist to sort out the hair of a now rather messier Messiah. Caviezel wasn't the only one to suffer the wrath of God during the film's production. The assistant director was also hit twice during filming. Clearly, someone upstairs wasn't a fan of Mel Gibson movies. So remember, if getting struck by lightning doesn't sound like your idea of fun, avoid water, avoid high ground, and maybe think twice about wearing that copper top hat. Why did you even buy that? Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe so you can get more from The Hub, no matter what the weather's like outside. See you next time.